Can you put on some music? Can you put on some music? Hmm? Mm, I guess you can put on uh, Ari Lennox or Janae Radio.
I can't find any stations by R Linux on Pandora.
Ari Lennox on Pandora.
Ari Linux Radio from Pandora.
Hey y'all, what's up? Hey. Thank you. The body is on fire. How y'all doing? He's some real. I'm just give it a couple minutes for people to fall in here. If they're coming on in, how y'all feeling this evening? And get you, yeah, I'm in. Doing good, tired, but had a good day. Same here, same here. Baby, you got a little birthday me out. So tonight, I just honestly wanted to come and talk to y'all about a few things that have been coming up a lot this week and last week in a lot of the readings that I've been doing. And then I wanted to talk too about these retrogrades. I need to post a forum about these retrogrades. I'll post it by Friday for y'all, okay? I'll probably be live early in the day on Friday because I am going to Houston. And I don't want to miss going live Friday. And if I try to do it Friday night, I feel like time is just gonna get away from me. So I'm probably gonna go live early in the day for y'all on Friday to do love, sex, pain readings, probably like around 1 or 2, and I'll post the link in Patreon so y'all will have access to it. Remember to make sure to go to 11moons11.com/plans-pricing to move your subscription over there. At the end of the month, I'm going to terminate my Patreon creator account so that y'all are not charged for July. And then we'll just continue everything from my website. I've already paused y'all's payments for July too, just in case they try to. So I paused y'all's payments and I'm gonna close out the account and then we'll move over everything to Wix. Lunar Salutations is on the 23rd. If you're in tier 2 or 3, you already automatically get tickets to that. You just need to go and register. And I have sent out y'all's discount code for those. So you should have that. If you're not in tier 2 or 3, I recommend that you buy a ticket to the event. All of my new and full moon events, they're like little virtual retreats. We do journaling, we share, I do divination, we do guided meditation, we do rituals, we talk about different herbs and candles and things of that nature. So I would recommend that y'all start attending those, telling your friends. It's just about every new and full moon. I am taking the month off in October because I'm getting married and I'm not going to have time to spend 4 hours doing a virtual event. If I do, I just feel like it's going to be really intense. So I'm like, I'm doing one event in October, I'm not doing both. And then I want to say in August, because I'm moving, same thing. It's either no events or one event, I think in August. But you guys can see on my website, all the events are listed there. I had them in a package, but I only had a few people purchase the package. And the people that purchase the package, they never show up to the events. So I took the package out. And if you want to come to the events, then you just purchase them individually or join the tier 2 or 3 in the Moonchild Haven, and you'll get the tickets free that way. That's your package. So yeah. By the way, somebody asked me like if you're subscribed and then you decide to unsubscribe, what happens? Nothing happens. You just unsubscribe and then you don't have access to the content anymore. And that's it. As far as events, if you unsubscribe, of course you don't have access to the events, but nothing happens. You can still book your sessions per usual. You can still join my free lives per usual. You just unsubscribe. That's it. Nothing happens. You just don't have access to the content. That's the only thing. So you wouldn't even be able to see past content. Thank you. So yeah, we're moving everything over there, y'all. So make sure y'all go over there, check it out, see how it looks, play around, see how you feel about it. If you want to download the Wix app, you can, but you don't have to. You can do everything from the website. Um, what else did I want to talk about in terms of announcements? The 23rd is the Lunar Salutations event with our full moon in Capricorn. This is the first full moon official event that I've done. So I would recommend that y'all attend that. But on the 27th, which is that Sunday, we're doing our first installment. Chosen Eyes and I are doing our first installment of the Fuckery Chronicles. So you guys can get your tickets to that as well. You guys get 10% off for being subscribers of mine. And your discount code is patron11. So you guys can get tickets to that. We're going to be talking about the Saturn, Pluto, and Mercury retrogrades, how they physically, emotionally, and psychologically affect us, and things that we can do to assuage and appease these energies to work in our favor. And we're going to be doing a ritual at the end of the event to kind of cleanse the energies. We're also going to be doing divination. Chosen Eyes is a certified doctor. And she also is a Chinese medicine practitioner and a practicing medium. So me and her together, it's gonna be bomb. Just go ahead and come on in the room. Come on in the room for the part of the conversation. Brand, you haven't missed anything. I'm just talking about business. I'm going over these choice announcements. Okay, so moving right along up out of that, y'all, there's a lot happening. There is a lot happening right now, okay? Saturn is in retrograde in Aquarius. Aquarius is ruled by the 11th house, which has to do with organizations, individuality, friendships, wishes. We already know that Saturn is our planet of discipline, law, structure, stability. So the fact that Saturn is moving backwards in the sign of Aquarius, where it's already kind of uncomfortable because Aquarius calls for a little bit of coloring outside of the lines. It can be quite overwhelming because it pushes you outside of your comfort zone. And I'm going to tell y'all this, you're just not going to be able to cling to traditions of the past, to habits of the past, to parts of yourself that are trying to let go. Like, you just have to let go. You have to surrender. It's the only way. Between Saturn and Aquarius and Uranus and Taurus, and then on top of that, Jupiter and Pisces retrograde, like, that is a lot of let me shake shit up, let me deepen your spirituality, let me enhance your compassion, let me put you into a place where you can see, feel, and hear where I'm coming from. And then that way you can really relate to me and submit, you know. On one hand, that's a good thing because we need to stop being so divisive and figure out how we can come together and make this place work for us as humans instead of like work for this group, this class, that class. But on the other hand, it's overwhelming because it forces you to shed certain things that you may not be ready to let go of. It forces you to face demons that you may have been hiding and running from. And you cannot run anymore. You're not going to be able to hide because at this stage in evolution, at this stage in astrology, at this repetition of these transits, which some of this stuff hasn't happened in 20 years, we're expected to be more evolved. We're expected to be more connected. Some of us are, some of us are not. And if you're not, unfortunately, lack of knowledge or ignorance is not going to save you anymore because you have the information at your fingertips. And spirit is very petty. Spirit will be like, you can pretend like you didn't know, but you should have known better. You didn't do better, so now this is what I'm about to do. You know? And I just don't want any of you guys to be behind that curve. I would much rather you be in front of it. If you're someone who has been getting deeper into your spiritual journey, you've been developing your gifts. Hey, boo. Hey, y'all. Um, I would say by all means go for it, but just don't think you can just get out here and just readily just be like, oh, I'm just going to sell this, I'm going to sell that, I'm going to push this, I'm going to push that. Because if you're not ready, it's going to just blow up in your face. Like, that's how it's going to go. Okay? So be strategic, lead with your intuition, and watch out for going to one extreme or the other. Like, seriously. I was talking about this earlier on IG Live, but we love choosing our own suffering. We love submitting to our own suffering. It's like we get off on it or something. Like, I always tell y'all about this book, Existential Kink by Carolyn Elliott. The reason why I'm always talking about this book is because it is the best book that I have ever read on shadow integration, hands down. Not necessarily shadow work. I've read a lot of books on shadow work and they all have their ups and downs. But on shadow integration, this is the best text because it basically tells you to see the world as a sadomasochistic playground in which everything becomes a domination and submission. And so she says crazy shit that's like off the wall. Like, she talks about Persephone and how she enjoyed being soft and afraid, and how the other side of her was basically the queen of hell. And she talks about how, like, some people like they get a thrill or a rush out of like, oh my God, there's $2 in my account and the rent is due in a week. And get, how am I going to make the rest of the rent money? Like, think about that. Like, do you get a rush out of that? Does it make you feel good to suffer, to be broke, to struggle? Do you feel like your struggle makes you stronger? Because I'm not going to lie, me being me, I used to be very, and I still can be like this, but I did. Like, I enjoyed the struggle. Like, oh my God, I only have $5 and I have to make this work through the week. Or, man, like, this is due in 3 days and I have to come up with this. Like, I didn't realize that I was getting a rush out of it. And that's why I kept manifesting. But I was, until I was like, I don't like this. Like, I just want to be comfortable. Like, I just want to be comfortable. I don't want to be crazy rich. Like, my income goal is not out of this world. Like, it's very simple, very small. Really, if just 4 people would book a soul session a day, I could leave it at that and not do anything else. And I do get about 2 to 3 people a day that book a soul session or some other sort of form of reading on my website. But my point is, I want a little bit more because I want to be comfortable. I want to have a little bit more than just enough to pay the bills. I have a wedding that I'm about to pay for. We trying to move. We're going to have deposits and things that we're going to have to pay for. Like, I'm trying to build a business. I always have to re-up on products and jars and inventory on top of my regular bills, rent, lights, cell phone, internet, website bills, business expenses. Like, it just, so I had to add on more legs to my business to be able to see these things through, instead of me being like, okay, well, I'm just going to depend on this one thing and pray that everything comes together. Like, I can't do that. And like, the old me would have gotten off on doing that because it would have just been like, here I am, building the struggle, chasing the thrill, on the climb, like, do y'all get what I'm saying? Like, just pay attention to what gives you a rise, and then ask yourself if that's really what you want. Okay? That's the gist of what I'm trying to say. Pay attention to what gives you a rise, and then ask yourself if that's what you really want. Like, I used to get a rise out of getting on my fiance's nerves and arguing with her and shutting down on her and being cold, all because she wasn't giving me enough attention or affection or whatever. Like, just making her mad and then making her want to chase me. Like, I just used to like love that shit. And then I realized how toxic that was. And I was like, you have to stop doing this, because when she does it to you, you hate it. And I'm like, okay, so instead of getting the rise out of getting on her nerves and pissing her off, all because you want attention, just tell her that you want some attention, or go get up under her and take your attention. Like, my energy is strong. Can't just not pay attention to me if I'm all up in your face. So now that's what I do. And I get what I want most of the time. Like, it's just, we just create our own suffering for no reason. Absolutely. Danielle said, I think some people who grow up in the struggle repeat the pattern later in life. I agree with that 100%. A lot of us grew up with single moms who were working all the time, trying to make ends meet, trying to figure it out, get it together. And we didn't get to see thriving independent businesses. We didn't get to see I have enough savings in the bank that if something happens, we're going to be okay. So, like, we expect that to be our lives because that's what we're used to. And that's that's not how we're supposed to live, y'all. That's not how we're supposed to live. So, if you find yourself continuously in that cycle, then ask yourself, like, what are you doing wrong? Like, for me, I have a certain income goal that I want to meet. I haven't gotten there yet. And so I'm like, okay, what do I need to do to get there? Well, put out more ads, have more people share your stuff. Tell people after your sessions to post reviews, like little things, that I can do to get more traffic. I've been doing, and it's been working. It's not working as fast as I wanted to, but it's working. It's getting me more traffic than I was getting before. So I'm like, okay, like it's getting me more following. I was like, I'm going to collab with some more people. It's going to bring some more people my way. Definitely has. So just think about some things that you can do to bring in the energy that you want. And it doesn't necessarily always have to be about money. Like, even in love, for example, when I want my fiance's attention, I could easily just be at my computer, minding my business, putting out my content, making birth charts, or doing whatever I'm doing, and then be expecting her to be all up under me. Or I could go and just be under her. And then she'll just scoop me on up and everybody gets what they want. Like, it can really be that easy. But we just always have to make things so difficult. And I am over it. I'm like, beat me up, Scotty, on like, I don't want to live a hard knock life anymore. I don't. I am over it. I'm over scraping and scratching to survive and like going through the struggle and trying to be a strong Black woman. Like, fuck all of that. I am not doing that. I'm not. I'm just not. Like, I feel like at this point, I don't want that kind of life. And it really has to come with a shift in perspective to change that. And my perspective changed a long time ago, but in a lot of ways, because I'm so used to that pattern, that cycle, you get anxiety and then you worry and then you get in your own way. You know what I mean? Like, that's just the reality of it. And I know y'all do it too. So, in order to get out of that, some things that I do is I always tell myself, girl, you cannot pray and worry. You cannot pray and worry. You cannot pray and worry. Did you not just pray about this? Did you not just do a ritual about this? Did you not just talk to somebody about this same thing earlier today? Okay, so what are you worried about? What do you have anxiety about? Just relax. Figure it out. It's gonna work out. Just chill. And then I'm like, okay, all right, I can do that. Like, sometimes you really gotta talk to yourself like that. Like, I know I might sound a little crazy, but that's how you gotta be. That's how you gotta be sometimes. Like, you have to be a little crazy because the world is a little crazy. So when you find yourself in these situations with men or with jobs or whatever it is, and you're like, why do I keep going through this? Why do I keep ending up here? Like, what is this supposed to be teaching me? Well, what do you like about it? Because that's probably why you keep manifesting it, because there's something about it that you like. For example, let's just talk about women who like to mess with men who are married or who are in relationships. No judgment, no shade, none of that. I'm just using this as an example. These men that are married and that are in relationships, they're emotionally unavailable. They cannot commit to you. They can only give you a certain amount of time. They can only give you a certain amount of energy. And you In your front of your mind, you're telling yourself, I really like this man. I want more from him. I'm just going along to get along with him because he's in a bad situation. When he lets go of her and gets out of that situation, then he's just gonna love me and I'm gonna be the one, right? Or you're just telling yourself, I'm just having a good time and that's between them, and when I get sick of his ass, then I'll be on to the next, and that's just that on that. Whatever, whichever way you want to let the cookie crumble. But my point is, you don't want to be attached to this man. A part of you is emotionally unavailable. There's a part of you that enjoys having space and time away from him when he's with her. There's a part of you that enjoys the thrill of dipping and dabbing in something that you feel like you may not, maybe shouldn't be doing, like, and so you keep on attracting that experience. I've even had some conversations with certain people where I'm like, you need to be in a polyamorous relationship. You don't want to commit yourself to one person, but yet you are wondering why you can't find a committed relationship. Like, you don't want to commit to one person. You have all this energy and love to give, and it's always attached to a couple or somebody else. There's a reason for that. It's not by coincidence that things just keep popping up in a pattern in your life. Patterns are never coincidental, y'all. Pay attention to the patterns in your life. The patterns in your life will tell you everything that you need to know. All you have to do is just pay attention. That's it. Just pay attention. Once you figure out the patterns, then you can change the patterns and then your life changes. It really is that freaking simple. Like, it really is. And you know what? The beauty of retrograde season is it forces you to look back before you can move forward. You know what the beauty of eclipse season is? It forces you to look back before you can move forward. So if you didn't look back before you can move forward, then why you don't have no excuse to miss nothing, because you had the opportunity to look back, to reflect, to review, to try again, and it didn't work. And so instead of you letting it go like you knew you should have after you did all that and the flag was still red, you decided to go along with it. And then you're going to be mad in December when you're looking at your manifestations from now until then, wondering what happened. Like, where did the disconnect happen? Is it just me, y'all? Is it just me? Because I'm just, at this point, I'm just like, how did I get here? Like, have y'all been feeling like that? Because I've been feeling like that a lot lately. Like, how did I get here? How did I get to this world where y'all have invented currency out of nothing? Cryptocurrency out of nothing. This money has no backing, completely digital. Y'all have created a disease out of thin air. Then y'all created a vaccine out of thin air. People are becoming more illiterate, even though they have a multitude of information at their fingertips to read. Like, it's real weird out here. It's really weird out here. And if you don't get in front of your own spiritual growth, your own mental growth, if you don't learn how not to group think, how to think for yourself and be an individual in choosing what you want for yourself instead of just letting things happen to you or blindly walking in your own suffering over and over again. You might as well be dead. You might as well just be a robot because you're not living. If you're not evolving, you're not living. Like that's the harsh reality of things. If you're not evolving, you're not living. And I just want y'all to think about that. I'm always telling y'all you need to write, you need to take an assessment, you need to be doing regular ritual, you need to have some physical discipline and dominion. I'm always telling y'all this stuff, and I don't say this stuff for my health. I tell y'all this because this is what spirit responds to. You can do all of the spell work, all the fancy whatever you think you're going to do all day and all night. But if your intention's not right, if your emotion and your energy is not working, is not matching the work that you're doing, guess what? Might as well just not even be putting that energy out. So that's all I'm gonna say on that, y'all. Um, Another thing that I'm gonna say is when it comes to relationships, I feel like we are having a hard time in relationships because a lot of us don't want to admit that we're emotionally unavailable. We don't want to admit that we don't know how to communicate. We don't want to admit that we're lazy in love, and we don't want to rise to the occasion and do anything that someone else may want us to do unless they are benefiting us in some way or another. We just want to have this freaking Instagram fairy tale romance, and it doesn't exist. As cute as me and my fiance look, and I love her to death, she's crazy as hell, and I'm crazy as hell. Now, I'm not saying we be going at it every day or we have arguments all the time, but we have our problems just like everybody else. Like, we do. We have our problems just like everybody else. We talk about it, we cry about it, we get around it, and we work through it. Like, it is what it is. Y'all be waiting so hard for something to go wrong that you don't even see anything that's right in the equation. And y'all gonna forever be alone thinking like that. You can't just accept anything and everything because what you tolerate, you encourage, but you need to figure out what your boundaries are, what your breaking points are, what your standards are. Lead with those. So that way, if you're not coming with that, then I'm not dealing with you. And that's period. But then everything else, we can talk about it. We can figure it out. We can make it work. Like, it's like y'all don't know how to be in love no more. Like, that's so scary to me. Like, y'all don't even know how to be in love anymore. And it takes you falling in love with yourself to know how to love somebody else. Because once you fall in love with yourself, then you have the capacity to hold that space for somebody else, regardless to what it is that they are putting into you. Because at the end of the day, before you enter any relationship, you should be asking, what can I bring to this relationship? What can I add? What can I learn? How can I excel and grow and evolve within this relationship? That's what you should be asking yourself. At this point, everything is so superficial. It's like, girl, is the dick big? Girl, how much money do he got? Girl, is he fine? Girl, what his friends look like? Who he hang with? How many bitches he got liking his pictures on the gram? Like, and then when I be telling y'all to do cord cuttings, y'all don't be wanting to do it. So let me get this right. You don't want the nigga don't want you. You and the nigga not even talking. You're emotionally distraught and you can't move on, but you don't want to cut the cord. Why? What are you holding on to it for? That's a fact, Brenda. That's a fact. She said, I think a lot of us grew up in toxic environments, and although we said our lives would be different, we've repeated our parents' patterns unknowingly. Facts. Facts, facts, facts. Like, it's absolutely true. I was doing that for a long time, fighting so hard not to be like my mother until I looked in the mirror and I was like, oh my God, you are just like her. And I had to figure some shit out and change some shit around. Like, no, ma'am, we're not doing this. Y'all, I could really just preach to y'all all day, but I'm not gonna do that because most of you guys in here are intelligent enough to know not to do this kind of stuff or to come to me when you have these kind of issues so I can help you. But y'all lately, the past couple of weeks, the readings and stuff that I've been getting, the readings that I've been getting, the downloads that I've been getting, the things that I've been seeing on social media, like I'm just like, how do we get here? Like who like I really don't like humans. Like what is going on here? Somebody posted Fashion Nova about to start making holiday sales on Juneteenth. Like use code, it's the freedom for me. Use code chains for 90% off. I'm like, that is not funny. Like, who comes up with this shit? And then guess who's reposting it? White women. And let me not even get started on how Black women are just not protected at all. Like the least protected class in America is Black women. Even though this country was built on our blood, sweat, tears, and fucking breast milk, we're the least protected class. The least. Gay rights are above the rights of Black women. Trans rights are above the rights of Black women. Of course, the white people's rights are above the rights of Black women. Who is protecting the Black women? Who? That's why we have to stand together and like band on our own issues. Like I don't be trying to be biased. I love everybody, don't get me wrong. I love all of the races. But I do feel like it's important for me to make a point to hold space for Black women specifically. A lot of the content that I do, a lot of the things that I say, a lot of the collaborations that I do, it's centered around Black women and Black women's issues. Not because I just want to fight the power, even though I do, but because I just feel like somebody has to be there for us. Like Somebody has to be there for us when we get tired of being strong, when we get tired of holding everything all together, when we get tired of trying to figure shit out on our own, when we get to the point where we want to break down and cry and we don't even feel worthy of fucking shedding tears. Like, I have to tell people in my sessions all the time, girl, if you don't stop sucking up them tears and cry, let it out. Let the tears roll. You can sob. You can start hyperventilating. Like, just take deep breaths. Let the tears wash over you like a baptism. It's just going to clean you out. And it's so sad that we don't even have spaces like that to regularly commune in where we feel safe without somebody going and talking about us or saying this or that or judging us. It's ridiculous. It is ridiculous. Y'all, I really lately find myself asking, how did we get here? Like, in all of the intelligence, in all of the evolution, in all of the spiritual enlightenment and technology that has come about, how are we this disconnected, this ignorant, this desensitized and violent? Like, how? How? I just don't get it. Is it just me? Is it just me? Providing that information is so important. We can't take it for granted that we know our culture or history. There's power in our lineage, and a lot of us don't even have a clue. Absolutely. Yes. That part. That part. But I'm done preaching to y'all. I really could go on all night. Like, but I just find myself feeling so heavy lately. And I'm just like, now granted, I did just start my cycle. And usually, like, whenever I'm about to start my cycle, I can really feel the collective energy really heavily. Like, I just be wanting to cry. I be enraged. Like, it's weird. Like, because normally I don't care. Like, I care, but I don't care. Like, I'm so detached from it. But I'm just like, what's wrong? Like, I just want to, like, give everybody a hug and then shake the shit out of everybody at the same time. Am I the only one? Is it just me? Baby, is that what that is with me? Girl, it might be. It might be like I feel a little crazy. I'm not gonna lie, I feel a little crazy because there's a part of me that just wants to hug and nurture everyone right now and just be like, come to me, lay your head on my chest, cry in my arms, dear. Let me hug you. And then there's another part of me that wants to be like, what the hell is wrong with you? Why are you? Yeah, I'm crazy. But yeah, so that's my little with the lack of knowledge, marriage to pain, feeling isolated, or that we deserve to suffer. Self love is absent. We've shifted from internal self worth to outward expression of worth. Man, you just said a whole mouthful right there. That's a fact. That is a fact. That's a fact. I'm going to read that again. Lack of knowledge, marriage to pain, feeling isolated, or that we deserve to suffer. Self love is absent. We've shifted from internal self worth to outward expression of worth. That is so freaking true. The standards be way off. Who or what do we measure our growth to? Man, that is so true. So true. Because we live in a freaking holographic universe. And everything is for the gram, everything is for social media, everything is for aesthetic, for reputation, for class, for image. And almost nothing is sacred anymore. Almost nothing is not sexualized. Like even the children, like it's wow. Yeah, that's very true. That's a whole word right there. I could go in all day just about that statement. But ask yourself if you're just as happy with who you are on the inside as who you are on the outside. It is a microwave instant gratification society. That's a fact. All right, y'all. I'm going to do a mid-month check-in. Let me pull it up really quick. The spread. Keep you. All right, so what is energizing you? Where can you take a closer look? Theme of the month, obstacle to transform through, major point of progress or accomplishment, part of self to embrace, things to avoid, and where to find support, plus additional guidance. One day, I'll have all 11 of you guys in one live, and my little heart will be happy. Y'all, I need to take an allergy pill because I'm just itching. That's what happens when I don't take allergy pills. If I go more than 3 days without taking an allergy pill, not only do I get sneezy and my throat itches, but my body starts itching too. It's really weird. Yes, one day. One day what, Brim? Oh my God. Y'all, I'm so itchy right now. I feel like my skin is just about to start turning red. I need to go take a shower so I can lather my body in body butter. Yes, I take local honey. I drink honey every day with my tea. Sometimes I take ACV. I never had bad allergies like this until I moved out here. I don't know what it is. I know I need to go get some more. I ran out. The other day, like Monday or Sunday. I took the last one. Yes, one day that will fill up my heart. I just want to get to the point where every time I go live, every time I have an event, there's at least 11 people in the room. Like, that's not even a lot, but that's all I want. I understand the pollen is terrible here. My allergies have been bad. Where are you located, Denny? It's always something in Austin. It's the pollen, it's the cedar, it's the African dust. It's just everyone here has allergies, even the damn dogs. But mine are bad. Like they've never been this bad. Like I really have to take allergy pills every day, and nothing else works. I have to take the pills. I've tried other things. Still. Still. Mm-hmm. So steady. I love India Reid. Now I'm ready. He touches my soul. He's giving me love. So steady. Ooh. Steady love. We're always the top 5 in the country with bad allergies. I didn't know that. Just makes me feel like this girl is giving me love. Y'all know something so cool about this deck? The moon card is called the magic mirror. And I think that's so cool because the moon is like the number 9, and it's also Cancer energy, and it very much has to do with subconscious reflection and the light of the moon being reflected by the sun, like those things finally coming to the forefront of our energy and our mind. I just thought that was really cool. This is the Fool card, Dr. John. Ooh. I kind of want to pull a color card, y'all, and then I'll be done. He loves his basketball and he loves a good book. He's a king in the sheets. So steady. He touches my heart. He touches my soul. Yes, this is the new deck. So steady. Okay. All right. So, what is energizing you? For this, we have the Strength card. It's called Possession in this deck. So, you may be possessed with determination. You may be possessed with ambition. You may be possessed with momentum. You may be possessed with love. You may be possessed with the spirit of healing and overcoming things. But regardless, your strength, your determination, your extreme will that looks a lot like possession is what is energizing you. Does that make sense, you guys? Where can you take a closer look? For this one, we have Synthetia Oya, which is the Three of Pentacles. So take a deeper look at your discipline, at your dominion, at your community of support. Ask yourself if your temper has been getting in your way at all. If your internal instigation has been bothering you, ask yourself if you have submitted and surrendered to the laws and the discipline that Saturn required for. Okay, that is. Excuse me. That's where you can take a closer look. Are y'all following me? Before I continue. Y'all ain't saying nothing. Y'all still in here with me? Okay. Theme of the month: temperance. Maintaining your balance between physical and spiritual, between emotional and intellectual, between the higher self and the lower self. Temperance is all about that process of shadow integration. It's about learning how to balance all of yourselves as a whole and be rooted and grounded in that, allowing that to lead you amongst your challenges. Do y'all see her balancing this on her head so peacefully? I don't know why my phone keep locking on me. Obstacle to transform through: the Four of Pentacles. So, the Four of Cups. So, lack of fulfillment, lack of clarity, lack of direction. Obstacles to transform through. Y'all see this? It looks kind of like a mouth with water, and you can get swallowed right on up in there if you don't know where you're going. Major point of progress or accomplishment: the Queen of Pentacles. Security, abundance, safety, what am I trying to say? Stability in terms of your career. Um, having a nurturing spirit. Um, what else do I want to say with her? Generational healing. Yeah. Part of self to embrace: the Two of Wands. So you need to embrace your spiritual self. You need to embrace your fiery aspects. Embrace your confidence. Okay. I kind of like what it says in the book about this card. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. This book is confusing, y'all. So I've been, not the book is confusing, but just the way that it's laid out is confusing. So I've been just exploring it on my own, but I do want to read a couple of these to y'all because this book is amazing. So remember when I was talking about temperance, right? This is a temperance card, her right here. So for her, I'm going to read her, then I'll read the Two of Wands for y'all. So for her, it says, the voice of T-Bone Ange has been likened to the conscious. A person's individuality is in many respects defined by the roads or path he or she chooses. The ability to make this choice emanates from the T-Bone Ange or the temperance. This is the core element of the individual, which is trapped and held back when a zombie is created. The T-Bone Ange may have been given shelter in a clay jar, which is entrusted to the care of a priest or priestess and may be retrieved at any time. So, this is like a thing that they use in terms of magic to kind of balance things out when someone's trying to spiritually attack you or possess you. So then it says the contemplation with this card, do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law. So again, focusing on your own determination, your own direction, your own clarity, your own will, your own balance of having that shadow integration process going. And then it says the divination, a call to action based on who you are and your place in the world, assertion of self, discovery of the true self, shadow integration, and overcoming of obstacles to the expression of the true self. Let me see, what number was that again? 1, 2, 3. Theme of the month. That's the theme of the month. I feel like that's pretty accurate. What do y'all say? So I'm always talking to y'all about Kabbalistic numerology. And in Kabbalistic numerology, there's 10 Sephirah. They all have a name. Number 2 is called Chokmah. So the Two of Wands, this card says Petro because Petro is fire in this deck. But the Two of Wands counts as a Chokmah card. So let's find the Two of Wands in the 4 twos. Her name is Nan Nan Buklu La Flambeau. It says, this card shows a female Lawa blowing fire through a hollow tube. The spiritual fire is transmitted outward. In this card, Nanan is identified with the fire itself, as in the card of air. She is identified with the forest and the herbs themselves. The spiritual fire pierces the foreheads of those persons nearby, imparting a primary infusion of will. At one and the same time, these sparks are both the basis of individual will and the links connecting individual will to the ebb and flow of the universe. This is a depiction of the creation of individual will and of individuality itself. Contemplation. Will as the basis of both individual action and cooperation. Divination. Influence individual will focused in such a way to bring change upon another for good or ill. So I just told y'all, embracing your mental power, embracing your spiritual power, doing that process of shadow integration, that's going to be your key. And those are definitely themes of the month. The themes to the month with all of this retrograde and eclipse energy going on. Okay, so let's keep going. Where were we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, things to avoid. We have the 10 of Cups for that. So avoid getting too emotionally wrapped up in things. Avoid being overly emotionally indulgent. Okay, that's something that you want to stay away from. Where to find support. Going to find support in shifting your perspective, doing that inner child healing, not allowing your pain and your vengeance to lead you. Okay. Additional guidance. We have Neptune, last quarter moon, and generational healing. Pay attention to your dreams. That's number 1. Develop your relationship with spirit. Be very intentional about it. Be very ritualistic about it. Be very disciplined and structured about it. When it gets to the last quarter moon, which right now we're barely in our first quarter moon, but when it gets to the last quarter moon, ask yourself what you have done to venerate your ancestors. What have you done to facilitate generational healing within yourself and your own family? If the answer is nothing, then get to work. Okay, we all have our duty to do in bringing about that energy. We have the moon, the book, and the whip come through. This again is a reminder to do better because you know better, to shift and change your patterns as you need to. And it's pretty much that simple. 32 is on the moon card, 3 being the form of the tree, 2 being that point of initiation between those different parts of yourself, that whole shadow integration process, and 5 being the challenge, the conflict, the struggle, the judgment, the punishment. Okay, and then we move on to the book. The book has number 26 on it. Again, we have 2, the shadow integration, 6, the number of healing, and then 8, the rebirth. You're reborn through shifting your subconscious patterns and enhancing your knowledge. Are y'all following me? And then we have the whip. Again, with 11, which is what? 2. Okay. We have the rest card, so make sure you take a rest where you need to. And then lastly, we do have the cosmic heart. I'm going to read that to you all to kind of end this session. But do y'all have any questions? Does this all make sense for y'all? Do I need to clarify anything? Do y'all like this deck? Danielle says she likes this deck, but she's a reader, so I feel like we just be different when it comes to decks. Really conventional frame. Y'all know what? I really love this deck too. It's so simple, but it's just, I don't know, it just gives me exactly what I need sometimes. Let me get out of here scratching like a fiend. Y'all, I'm not on nothing, I swear. I'm just itchy because I haven't taken any allergy pills. Oh, Lord. Okay. We got the cosmic card come out. I love this card. It's one of my favorite cards in the whole deck. Really has to do with making your life a moving prayer. Like, how beautiful is that? Okay, so it says, when you surrender to a state of devotion, you find yourself flowing with all of life. You're being called to refocus your attention deep within to the intelligence of your own heart, to bow with deep reverence to your own inner temple, to live your life in devotion to this place, to make your life one big moving prayer. Perhaps you felt a bit off kilter lately, sensing that the potency of why you're doing things has gotten a little watered down or weak. Perhaps you've forgotten what made you start doing them in the first place. If so, this is your call to take a moment and reconnect with the truth at every center of your heart, to get back to the essence of what you're about, to devote your life to what you care about, what you care most about, to turn your gaze deep, 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 deep. There are seasons for harvesting and seasons for sowing. Right now, you're being called to plant your soul seeds and sing to them with deep devotion, to feed them with the sweet waters of your own soul, to lose yourself in the potency of what it is that most expands your heart, to live your life according to what makes you come alive rather than what everyone else thinks, to make your life one big moving prayer. How can you make your life one big moving prayer? So I will leave you all with that. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. I will definitely be here on Friday with our Love, Sex, Pain message. Again, I am going to be doing it early in the day because I will not have time to do it in the evening. I'm going to be traveling for Father's Day. Make sure that in the next couple of weeks, you guys migrate over to my website to continue your subscription, because I'm canceling my creator account on Patreon come July the 3rd, and I've already suspended y'all's payments so that you guys aren't charged for July. So make sure that you come over to the website and subscribe to whatever tier tickles your pickle. Okay. that's it, y'all. Thank y'all again for tuning in. I hope y'all have a good night, and I'll catch y'all on Friday.